everybody! Welcome back! Made in Abyss has finally returned after so many years of just not getting an anime. I feel like the last time we talked about Made in Abyss on this channel, I was a totally different person. That's how long ago it's been. In fact, you can still find those old videos of me talking about Made in Abyss. The link's in the description below if you really want to. But this episode of Made in Abyss, on its grand voyage to finally returning, is actually quite an interesting one. The episode really starts off with a flashback, and then near the end there, it gets back into our regular main characters with Riko, Reg, and Nanachi. But this is like some pretty good stuff. I really enjoyed this episode of Made in Abyss, so I'm super excited to talk about this because there's also some stuff that happened in this episode I think we need to go over a little bit, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But besides that, if you haven't already, I want to ask you guys to go over to the King of Anime Podcast YouTube channel. It's a podcast we do every single Monday at 8 p.m. EST, because if you're interested in Made in Abyss videos, every Monday we are going to be talking about new episodes of Made in Abyss. It's just me and a couple of friends. We've been doing this podcast for years, and I can't wait to see you guys over there on the brand new King of Anime Podcast channel. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead, dive into the episode. So the episode starts off focusing on one of our newer characters. It actually starts off with a flashback with a group of new characters, rather. Starts off with this girl, her name is Veruko, or Veriko or whatever. You don't actually really hear this girl's name until halfway through the episode, which I find strange. But much like everything Made in Abyss, it seems, this girl, just a little child, was abused by someone who took her in. And eventually, this person went on a voyage of some kind using this compass. I think it's called Irumiui, I believe. And using this compass, they were trying to find this thing called the Golden City. It's somewhere in the abyss, of course. That's where this compass was leading them. I assume that this compass is actually a cursed relic from the abyss. That would make the most sense here. But anyways, they go find this wreckage, this rubble of a ship. It's just, everyone is like apparently like split in half. Some of them are still moving and twitching, and most of them are dead, besides one of them. Some dude who like has a gray beard and all of this. It's not really explained who this person is or what this ship was, but this man survived something awful, and all he is left talking about is this golden city, which immediately says right there that, oh, this golden city is not gonna be so golden. It's probably just maybe the color of it, especially with what we got here at the end of this episode. It's probably gonna be cursed. It's probably gonna be awful. Something terrible is most likely going to happen. It's probably gonna seem like this golden city, once they get to it, is gonna be super amazing and nothing can go wrong. But by the time they have to leave, it's just like, you can never leave this city. Reminds me of Uncharted 2 for some reason. I don't know why. At the end, you know what I'm talking about. You guys played Uncharted 2. What am I talking about? But this new character we have, she's really seemingly, after all this went down, worked hard to get to a place to where she can get to the abyss, go on this adventure, and find the Golden City. This seems like one of her biggest goals is to find it, which is our character's now motivation on this. Though it seems that getting to this place has cost her quite a bit in terms of her mental health and stuff. But, well, the next scene, they're on a ship, finally heading to their destination using the compass. We are introduced to their captain, Wazukyan, who catches bugs in the ships and just eats them. I think it's really funny. He says it prevents disease and sickness and stuff like that, which is such a captain thing to do. This captain guy, he's a little subdued in many ways, but he's kind of quirky, which I find like really, honestly, a little unsettling, because I'm not sure how his character is going to turn out. This is Made in Abyss after all. But the whole point of this voyage is, they're being guided by this compass. They're trying to find this golden city. But not only that, but this girl, she is sort of revealed by the captain that she is one of the 3 sages of the Gaja now. What this really means, I'm not quite sure. They don't really go much in depth on that, but this is some really cool world building. Who are the other 2? No idea. but she is apparently a guidepost of this whole mission that they're trying to achieve. So she's got a very important position in all of this. But this ship seems to be one filled of positivity because the captain at the very least, and other characters we're about to talk about, very much support this little girl. They support her role, they trust her, they respect her, and they give her words of positive affirmation, which here in a moment we're going to discuss about how she doesn't really feel like she's worth anything. So the captain at the very least treats her really well, and he seems like a pretty cool guy, which I think is really interesting. So talking actually more about that, we are introduced to Beloff, who tells her not to mind the captain because people at first on this ship really couldn't understand the captain. They couldn't really get what this guy was about. They thought he was being fake or just really weird, but they actually eventually grew to understand him and even respect him. And they believe that he is blessed by divine and will find the golden city. That is seemingly how much confidence they have in this guy to go forward with the mission, which is quite impressive. The dude is not only quirky, but it seems like he's very good at leadership and has a way with words, which actually is also sort of a red flag because people like that, especially in anime that are super edgy like Made in Abyss, usually that's a red flag because what that means is he could be a total fake or a liar, and at the end of the day, sacrifice all of his crewmates or something for, this golden city and be corrupted by it so easily. We've seen this happen a million times in other stories like this, so it could very much happen. That's a theory that I have of mine. We'll see if it plays out, but, it is what it is. He also foretold that this girl would actually join them just a day before, which also I find is a red flag in many ways, because what proof does he have that he could foretold this? Did he say her name? I don't know. But as for Veriko, she asks Beloff if it's okay to be one of the three sages, because she believes that there's nothing good about her actually there is only one good thing about her, and that is taking care of others. Beloff tells her that beauty is pretty much just in the eye of the beholder. What's funny about this is Beloff kind of belabors the point over and over. I don't want to simplify the scene here, but basically he says repeatedly over and over, hey, Veriko, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Don't get yourself down, pretty much in like 5 different ways. It's actually a really cool scene because it shows that Beloff is really into her as a person and trying his best to cheer this girl up, because not only is it important to do that because she's in a role of technically leadership or of some sort of importance, but as well you can see looking at her that she needs a little bit more confidence in her life, some as we stated before, positive words of affirmation to build her back up, because it seems like whatever this person did to her before, well, we know what he did, he really damaged her, and Beloff is trying, seemingly, and the other people on the ship, trying their best to build this girl back up, which I think is really cool, honestly. So there is a storm, someone gets sick on the ship, but long story short, they finally arrive at, one of the abysses, and they navigate the forest until they come across one of the native tribes, which I actually find really interesting. Something that's really cool about Made in Abyss, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times, I'll shout it from the mountaintop. The reason why this series is so good is most likely because of the incredible world building this series has. I mean, if you guys want me to in the future do a video on the world building of Made in Abyss, please, for the love of God, tell me down in the comments below. Make sure to drop a like on the video. I promise you, if you do those 2 things, I will probably make that video for you if you really want to see it, because there are a lot of great examples of Made in Abyss's world building, making the show infinitely better. So once again, make sure to comment that you want that and hit the like button. I promise I won't bite if you comment. And speaking of, one more quick plug, check out my Discord. You can find the link to it in the description below. I already have a community of nearly 300 strong, so make sure to hit that link, join the Discord community so you can get updates on when I upload, when I comment, when I'm in the VC chat to chill out, ask me a question in there. It's a pretty cool place. Lots of nice people. Back to the video. So they navigate the forest until they come across this native tribe, and they sort of befriend the tribe, and they learned that the people who came before them were very violent people, which is sort of unfortunate. Maybe it's some of the people down in the abyss already that were like this. But this tribe is actually willing to help them in exchange for a compass. And I do like their language. It's kind of played off as a very comical language because they seem to speak it in very harsh tones. So because of those harsh tones, it just sounds really, really funny. But yeah, they're pretty cool people. They're willing to help in exchange for this compass, and Veriko doesn't mind, though it seems parting with it. There's something about that bothers her, but they have to do it anyways because they need the help they need and they want that compass. So she has to hand it over. She seems reluctant, but I will say she almost immediately hands the thing over. So I'm not sure if this will play a part later in the series. This compass will come back to them, who knows? So they go to what the native tribe calls Shoro, and it's said they'll never return upon entering, which probably just means they don't have this stuff to get out. But a little girl attaches herself to Veriko, and this little girl is marked as not being able to have children. It's quite disturbing, seemingly, what they did to her, but Veriko, you can see, sort of immediately attaches herself to this little girl based off her own experiences. So they ask the captain, is it okay for this girl that just attached herself to, one of our most important leaders in this group to come along? The captain, he's all right with it. He almost seems pretty aloof, like he's not even focused on what's happening, which is another red flag. But I will say, these red flags around this captain, they are disguising it pretty well. I'm actually only really catching these red flags as we're doing this video because I think as we're watching the series, you don't really notice it much. It's really disguised, the red flags that the captain is giving off, which is really good writing in my opinion. So they go to, basically they see like the edge of the abyss and there's a boy that goes up to it to look at it, and he's affected by the curse, and the girl kind of warns them that, and informs them that this is really what this curse is. So this reaffirms once again that these people are experiencing something totally new with the abyss, and they thought at first they were poisoned, but no, it is the curse of the abyss which has affected so many people already throughout this series. Then we flash forward to the present where it picks up right after the second movie ended, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that movie, you probably should. It's very important. It's required before watching this. They immediately smell something familiar. Apparently this is incense that cave raiders burn at funerals or something like that. So they've been burning it there. At least they believe that Brondrud, Nanachi was burning stuff there. Speaking of, Nanachi doesn't want to go back to Brondrud, but is happy at this point that all he can do is peek into her vision. So that's that's relieving for Nanachi at the very least. Somewhat relieving at the very least. So basically Reg just hugs Nanachi, all of that, very happy. Riko rubs Prushka to basically activate this weird circular elevator thing that looks like a womb or something from Dragon Ball. Very strange, but yeah, I don't know how that works. And a bunch of stuff happens that I really don't want to talk about, and they finally came to the capital of the Unreturned, and that's really where the episode ends. This episode of Made in Abyss was actually quite well thought out. I really enjoyed exploring the backstories and of these characters with Veriko and the captain and Bailoff. I really enjoyed this. It added a lot of mystery and intrigue, like where did these people go? Are we going to see them in this season? Probably. And really what happened to them on their adventures. I want to see stuff like that. Did they go through the same troubles that Riko, Reg, and Nanachi have? I mean, we saw in one of the flashbacks that one of the people they were with turned to one of those blob things like Medi did, one of the Soulless or whatever it is. So I am really interested to see what they went through. I'm really interested to see if they interact with this group in the Golden City or the capital of the Unreturned, what they're going to be like, especially now, and how long ago was this compared to our current timeline. I mean, it seemed like they were on ships, and it doesn't seem too long ago based off what we know from season 1 and how everything is in season 1. So I don't know. It could be something very interesting. As well, maybe it's hundreds of years ago before this city around the abyss was set up. This could be the actual city that we saw in season 1. We don't know. It could be. Either way, this is a really good episode. I urge you all to go out of your way to watch it. It was very, very good. Just like all the other episodes of Made in Abyss typically. I didn't like The lolicon, the pee stuff, I did not like that. I thought that brought this episode down by a notch or two, honestly. But I'm not going to talk about that. People apparently get mad about that stuff. I don't know why they get mad when you talk about and call out shows for doing stuff that's really creepy. But with that out of the way, great episode. I urge you all to subscribe to the King of Anime podcast channel. I'm not kidding. If you're watching this, click that subscribe button on the King of Anime podcast channel. It's the first link in the description. You definitely need to click on it, and it'll be the pinned comment below. We're going to be talking about Made in Abyss every week, along with the new Ruby anime. We're going to be talking about a classic anime in Trigun in preparation for Trigun Stampede, which we'll also be covering eventually on that show. And as well, besides Made in Abyss, most importantly, Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2. It's coming back, baby! And we're all going to be talking about it on the King of Anime podcast every single week. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll see you next week when we talk about Made in Abyss Season 2, Episode 2. We'll talk to you then. Have a good day. Bye-bye.